The Dads That Game radio podcast is brought to you by Video Games Monthly. Video Games Monthly is a monthly subscription service that delivers retro video games to gamers who own classic gaming systems from the 1980s through 2000s. And the best part is, you keep the games. Check us out at videogamesmonthly.com.
Live from his wife's basement,
Still gaming into their elder years.
this is the Dads That Game radio podcast.
Now, here are your hosts.
Michael Wolf and William Small.
Welcome to the Dads that sometimes game, but mostly work. Yeah, mostly. Yeah, mostly work, but yeah, we still game. So we
occasionally game.
we occasionally game. Yeah, but it's not a lie if you occasionally do it, right? I mean, it's I don't know. Maybe we should change the name of the show.
It can still be your passion.
It is. It is my passion. Yeah. We are back.
The Dads That Occasionally Game radio podcast.
Exactly. I think I'm going to change the name. I like that better. The Dads That Occasionally Game, but mostly work podcast. Yes. I am Michael Wolf. With me, as always, is that guy right there.
Oh, Will Small.
That laughs at my jokes sometimes, but mostly just makes me feel like an idiot. Thanks a lot, buddy. Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for. Yeah.
Making me feel like an idiot. Yeah, that's great. Today it's Sunday, June 2nd. Is it June 2nd? Oh my lord! I'm sorry, it's June 3rd. Whoa,
no, I'm June 3rd. Yeah,
I am way off. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, June 3rd. We made it to June. We are halfway through the year already. And honestly, oh wow, E3. Oh man, that is next week.
Next week.
Dang. Stay around. Check out our website. Go to www.noobsandpros.com. There will be a lot more content coming up here soon. We will have Brian and Sean, I believe, from Noobs and Pros coming on the show. I stay tuned to their website too, because I think I'm going to be on one of their shows too. But we're going to do E3 predictions. Maybe do some live streaming during E3. So definitely something you guys want to stick around for if you're interested at all. We are also back, baby. Yeah! We're back on Thursday nights, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Podcast Radio Network. We missed you guys. Thank you for tuning in to us. Please support the Podcast Radio Network. Download their apps, the Crikey app, Krykey. Tune it to 102.6. Also, you can download the TuneIn app and just tune it to the Podcast Radio Network. I see what they did there. But we're on 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're back. It is official. We finally came back. Been off for a little while, but we're back. It's good to see you guys back. Man, we got a lot to talk about today. Because, dear Lord, everybody and their grandma was talking about E3 news this week, and we're going to be none the different. Talk about a dead horse again. Talking about you, Destiny. We'll be talking about some crazy things Bethesda did this week. But first of all, I know Will was the one that got me into this game, and I'm glad he did. But I want to talk about Game of the Week. This week, we really want to encourage you guys to play a game on the Nintendo Switch. Do you know, is it out on anything else, or is it just Switch? I've only seen it on Switch.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it's just on the Switch.
Just on the Switch. Okay, so if you own a Nintendo Switch, you need to get this game. It's $11, so super cheap. But it's called West of Loathing. I've never played an RPG with stick figures, but I'm really glad that I did, because this game is flippin' hilarious.
It is so funny.
It is really funny.
It's so good.
Yeah, and it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for the premise of the game, I'm not going to ruin everything, but basically you start off as I guess I don't know, a small town bumpkin that falls off the turnip truck, literally. Like that's the start of the game. Like you literally fall off a turnip truck, like pun intended. Which I thought was really funny. But like you start off on, like, obviously you're on a farm, you know, and then you want to go to the big city to make it, you know, be famous or do whatever you want to do. You get on a turnip truck, and then you fall off and you end up in the town. and that's kind of where your adventure begins. And then you choose what you want to do. I mean, it's a straight up RPG.
Yep.
I've never had so much fun playing with stick figures though. Like every choice that you have, the narrative is done so well that I was like bursting out laughing just reading these narratives sometimes. My wife was looking at me like I was crazy.
Just ridiculous, like the things that it says to you.
Well, like,
and the fact that it breaks the fourth
wall
like,
a lot.
Where when it tells you, oh, these are your choices, and you pick something, and it's like, really? Are you sure you want to do that?
Right. I think
my
favorite
it yells at you. It's hilarious.
Yeah, my two favorite choices so far have been basically if you read this book that your dad gave you, it's called Walking Stupid. The game basically after you read it, you walk stupid the whole way. Like sometimes you'll roll, sometimes you'll skate, and it's just funny because it's stick figures. My other favorite choices were too is there's a part in the game where like the sheriff hires you to go stop this group of bad guys, bandits basically, and tells you they're over by this cave. You go up to this cave and one of them's sleeping, and it gives you the choice like, what do you want to do? Wake him up, shoot him in the back, cold-blooded. And, if you choose the option that says shoot him in the back cold-blooded, the narrative's like, really? It's like, he's sleeping. That's like really undefenseless. Like, that's really, merciless. And you're like, no mercy. And it stops you again. It's like, really? I mean, I really don't think this is a good idea. Just shooting a man in cold blood. And then you keep on pushing it on. And, like, eventually it's like, he's just a boy. Are you really going to kill this guy? Seriously. It just made me laugh. I mean, just every turn that you try to take, like, by yourself, like, the game constantly, like, it pokes fun at you for doing things that you do.
Right.
I've never had so much fun playing, like I said, a stick figure RPG game, but it's a brilliant game. It's absolutely brilliant. I think it's going to be
so well done.
Yeah, the summer hit.
I can't believe how well it was done.
Yeah.
For something that it looks like a small child drew it.
Yeah.
Because yes, it's stick figures, but it's not just stick figures. Like your horse looks like a kid drew what a horse would look like.
Right. With the
it's
spinning
just
eyes.
like the weapons, like everything is hand drawn.
Yeah.
And the whole game is also black and white. There's no color.
Right.
It's just a black and white game.
Yeah.
Literally, it looks like someone just drew it on paper for you, and you walk around and play like that.
Yeah.
But don't let that dissuade you when you see it.
Right.
It is so well done, and it draws you right in, and like it's just such a good RPG. And the fighting is like the typical. When you fight
fighting.
something,
you're
on the left, they're on the right, and you take turns, just like typical old school style. It doesn't have anything to do with like where your placement is or anything like that.
Sure.
But it has different kinds of things you can do, like with your attacks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I picked the character because when you leave the first town, you get to take somebody with you.
Yep.
The one that I picked, she can build barricades.
Okay.
So
I chose the lady that was nursing the snake. The whiskey. The lady with the shotgun. The nurse lady, because she can heal. Because she can heal you.
I chose. Yeah, I saw that,
Yeah.
but I chose the girl at the bar that had that cow problem.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah,
she had
her house got burned down.
She has. Yeah, her house got burned down, so she can use a rifle. And she
Nice.
builds barricades, so
okay.
she can stop guys from shooting you, which actually works really, really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, there's different mechanics depending upon who you have with you and what class you pick as well.
Right.
So
What class?
It's a lot deeper than.
What class did you go with?
I think I picked Cowpuncher.
Oh, okay. I went with Snake Charmer. So I gotcha. Because I can make make poison. I can make poisons and heal myself, which is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
that one looked good. I almost went with that one, and then it was like the bean guy or whatever. Like the other one, something to do with like the magic beans.
Magic beans. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, there's the funny part. The funny part about that
like,
though too is that there's a quest in the game too where you can learn necromancy, and it makes fun of you for learning necromancy. It's like, seriously, you're really gonna open up this? You're really gonna become a spawn of Satan? Like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
it just makes
okay.
It just makes me laugh, just because, like, I mean, even silly things like there was one time like I was in the saloon, and there's a spittoon on the ground, obviously, and it's like they're like, "What do you want to do? Like, look closer or just walk away?" And you're like, "Look closer." And you're like, "You're literally just staring at a bucket of spit." And then you're like, keep looking closer. And he's like, "All right, this is just getting ridiculous." And you're like, "Go ahead and the option's like, go ahead and dig in because you see something shiny in there." They're like, "Really? You're gonna stick your hand in a full of spit? Like, that is disgusting. You have problems." But it's just so funny. Obviously, if you're I guess if you're intellectual enough to read the choices and stuff like that, if you actually enjoy games like that, this is going to be the game for you. Obviously, if you just want a game where it's action and you don't have to read and stuff like that, probably not going to be your cup of tea because this one does require, obviously, reading choices and reading, all the hilarious things that they've written.
Yeah, it's a real RPG where your decisions,
you do have to
at least on the surface, look like they matter.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in the end, but I mean, I've kind of noticed that before too, because like in the first town, you can learn how to speak. I guess there's a orc or goblin.
Goblinese.
Yeah, there's a goblin underneath the staircase, so you can choose to go in and fight the goblin and obviously kill him and then you get a treasure. But also there's a book where you can learn Goblinese. So I'm wondering if you go back and you can talk with the goblin, obviously. So there's different things like that you can do or spend on that do have repercussions on where you can go. So I'm guessing there's an outcome because there's a lot of stuff that you have to unlock that, like, there's a sequence of orders that you have to do it in. So, I can't praise the game high enough though. Like, the game is it's so much fun. Like I said, it's a stick figure RPG for God's sake. I mean, it's just hilarious. So
it's funny because it's a game that I would buy on my PS4.
Right. Yeah, and it's on Switch.
Now that I know about it, I it's on Switch, and that's great. I mean, I liked everything coming to Switch, but it's so good that I would even play it on
PS4,
a better
system.
like a higher quality, like, or higher graphics console, and forget about the fact that it's stick figures, and I'd play it on a big TV too.
Oh, yeah.
So
no, I would too. I mean, I think that's why I love it on my Switch too, because I just dock it and I play it on my big TV. But man, it's still fantastic.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, I just realized that I can actually do that, except that I don't take my Switch in. I don't actually ever plug my Switch into the TV. So
I do it all the time. I do it all the time, man. You're missing out.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So
I've never docked it. Not
really.
Once.
Wow.
So
you should try something. New. Try something new today, buddy.
I never even. No, I refuse.
Well, fine then, sir.
Not gonna do it.
I would just say try something new. It's fantastic. Switch actually does a pretty good job on dock mode.
I have other new things to try today. So
that is true. Yep.
I will.
Very, very true.
Other things.
I've been at Comic-Con for the past, I was at Comic-Con yesterday. I'm going back today. I'm down working at the game booth today. I was at the game booth yesterday. I did not realize one thing, how popular. Well, I mean, I kind of knew how popular it was, but until you see it, like, up hand and close. Because when I was in Vegas, like, when I was at the esports arena, that's all people are playing. But people are fanatics about Fortnite.
It has become such a huge thing.
Yeah, well, we had it set up yesterday at the obviously Comic-Con where they had four-man teams going on. But the kids just lining up to play. And like kids would come back like 5 and 6 times just to play this game. It's like, dude, don't you get enough of this at home? It's like Elijah Wood is like 100 feet away from you, and you're over here playing video games. Like, seriously. Like, I'm just weighing your priorities here, my friend. I mean, there's art and beautiful things everywhere, pop culture and nerd culture related. And it's like, and you're sitting there in a line wanting to play Fortnite, which is a free game, which you can play anywhere. We had a lot of kids. We had a lot of kids come in yesterday though. That were like, I don't have a PlayStation. I don't have an Xbox. I don't have anything. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, feel free to jump in there, bud. And I mean, I know obviously you raise your kids how you want to, but I didn't realize the popularity of that game, man. I guess
it is.
Yeah, it's just
a phenomenon.
Well, I mean, I know they put $100 million, behind their national tournament. But man, it's just nuts. And I mean, I jumped in for a round and got killed very quickly, but it's a nuts game. So
I'm not, I think the game is really fun. You know, I have it and I've played it, and
Yeah.
you know, it is fun.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been one for PvP.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make you feel like you suck.
Right. Well,
It doesn't do that to you.
I've heard a
which
lot
is
of
nice.
people. I've heard a lot of people say that H1Z1 is better at making you feel like you don't suck.
Yeah.
They said it's just better. It's just, I guess it's like a one up on PUBG is what I've been hearing. But
Yeah.
I just think I guess my point is that I saw Elijah Woods yesterday. That was my point.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
Yeah,
you know?
I just
yeah.
wanted to say I was walking. I
I'm
was
gonna
walking
go to-
through. Yeah, it's not every day you get to walk through somewhere and you're like, oh shoot, there's Elijah Woods just sitting right there. Oh my god, yeah. So yeah.
I'm gonna go to the Comic-Con in Boston here because ours is really big, and this year not the entire cast, but most of the people from Back to the Future will be there.
Oh wow,
together.
That's crazy.
So you'll have Marty, Doc, Biff, and what was Marty's girlfriend name?
Jennifer.
The one who was
Jennifer.
She was Adventures in Babysitting.
Jennifer. Her character name was Jennifer, but I don't remember the character. Hold on.
The character name was Jennifer, but whoever the actor is that plays. But I guess I should say she played the girlfriend in Back to the Future 2 and 3. The first movie, they used a different actor.
Claudia Wells.
So
yeah.
Wow,
she has not aged well. I am sorry.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, Claudia, if you're listening, but you have not aged well.
But really,
wow.
Just to be able to, I was obsessed with Back to the Future. I loved those movies.
Yeah.
I loved Marty, all of that. So even if I don't talk to them or, do anything, I just want to go see them all.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's just cool. Like,
well, I think
the one great thing about Comic-Con is the number of really cool people that they tend to have.
Sometimes, yeah.
Some years, not every year, but some years you'll be like, holy crap, there's so many good people to go and just kind of stare at and be like, yep, you're a star.
Is it just me, or is Christopher Lloyd, like, present day, he looks like the Crypt Keeper? You remember that dude? Oh my lord.
Yeah.
He is not aging well.
Of course.
Wow.
And, I agree. Well, the thing is he is as old as the Crypt Keeper at this point,
sure.
I think. Like,
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure he's up there. I mean, he's got to be at least, 70 or 80. Why do we even have to guess about this stuff? Seriously, we have Google.
Yeah, we have Google. Yeah, we definitely do.
How old is Christopher Lloyd? He's 79 years old. He's 80. He's 80 this year. He was born. Oh my God, he was born in 1938. That is Crypt Keeper years. Dear Lord.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, because Michael J. Fox is only 56, Leah Thompson's only 57, and Thomas F. Wilson, who played Biff, is only 59. So, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Which one's Leah Thompson?
Leah Thompson was the mom. She was.
Oh, right. Yeah.
How could you not remember Leah Thompson? I used to have a crush on her big time. Big time. Oh.
Did you?
Oh yeah, back in like her Caroline in the City days, man. I used to love that show. Wow, I'm aging myself. Great. So, actually,
you're olding yourself. Right?
I'm olding myself. I'm olding right now. It's like molting, but you're just olding. All right, we've wasted enough time. All right,
wasted enough time. Yeah, let's move. Let's move forward.
It's what we always do. We waste time and then we move forward. It's the MO of our show. We should just be called the dads that waste time and move forward sometimes. So. Let's talk about games of the week you can get your hands on, though. Let's talk about week in release. Here's a game. So if you buy this game, me and Will hate you forever, but you just remember that. You take your own choices. I think I'm going to get it, though. I don't know. We'll see. This is going to cover you, obviously, from today, the 3rd, all the way up until the 9th, which is Saturday. Next week will be a whole brand new batch of games, as you've come to understand how our show works. But starting on the 5th, you can get yourself Shaq Fu, a Legend Reborn. Woo! You know what's going to happen.
Don't do it.
Don't buy it.
Nobody buy this game.
Oh my God. I don't know. I've seen some gameplay now, and I'm like, all right, we'll see. I don't know. I really don't think I'm not. Calm down.
There was almost no one. I was actually really proud of the fact that almost the entire time at PAX. Every time I walked by the Shaq Fu booth, there was almost no one ever sitting playing it. Like there was never a line.
I just think
and
it's
there was
funny.
no one doing it.
Well, like I said, we've made fun of this before. We're just like whose idea was this to bring back this game? Like, just honestly, like they're like, all right, fellas, we need a reboot. We need a good one. What do you got? Shaq Fu, brilliant. I mean, I don't know whose idea it was to, be like, I don't know if Shaquille O'Neal needs more money.
Like,
I mean, he's
they were. They were wondering because they were like, well, look, he's doing the general and he's doing like the
making all that.
the icy hot and all those things, and they're like, oh well, he's hip, he's current, right? Remember that game he had? Let's make it again.
I just feel like I'm gonna laugh so hard if like in the game they're like he's like, timeout, Shaq needs an icy hot. Like that's the power up.
One of the power ups is, or another power up is like you do something and the general drives by and like runs the people over.
Yeah, exactly. I think like if you embrace like that hilariousness, like I would buy it. Like be like, okay, you got me.
That would be ridiculous, but no,
I don't think it's gonna happen like that. I did hear you can play as Obama.
Once a horrible game.
Well, I heard you can play as ex-President Obama and beat up Kanye West. Though is what I heard. So I don't know. Maybe that'd be a selling point.
Do not give do not give anybody your money for that game. Just don't.
Maybe wait until they're just giving it out as promotional items, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, even then, I don't think I will let my console ever be like
just tainted by it,
sullied by the tainted by it actually being on my system.
We'll see what happens. Obviously I have a feeling this is gonna be horrible. Even though I'm sure Brian and Sean are listening, we'll probably be playing this at Battlegrounds at some point. Hope not. Next game, obviously, coming out on the 5th as well. BlazBlue, Cross Tag Battle. Actually excited for that game. That game's awesome if you're a BlazBlue fan. Little game that I didn't realize was coming out so soon, but a lot of people are excited for this one. But Vampire. That is coming out.
God, yes.
Yeah, that's coming out PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. BlazBlue, by the way, is coming out for Switch, PlayStation 4, and PC. Sorry, Xbox.
Yes.
Also, moving forward, you can get yourself Fossil Hunters on Android. When do we start covering Android games? Interesting. Birthdays, The Beginning, obviously, on June 5th. The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker on Nintendo Switch. That's it for the 5th. On the 7th, you can get yourself Iroh Hero on the Nintendo Switch. Grid Retro Enhanced on Nintendo Switch. Riding Hero on the Nintendo Switch. A Magical High School Girl. Ooh, I'm interested. She's magical, and she's a high school girl. That is coming over to Nintendo Switch. That game's been out before on PC, so not a new game, but it's coming over to Switch. Here's a game that I'm really, really excited for, and I don't care what you say. I just think it's a brilliant idea for a game, and it just looks all colorful. But Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido. That is coming out on 3DS, on the eShop as well, and also on Nintendo Switch on June 8th. I'm going to get that one. So it just looks fun. It looks like a fun puzzle game. So I've been kind of excited ever since I saw the first preview of that one. But that's it. That's it for the week. Obviously, more games coming soon. Next week will be E3, so stay tuned to us because we'll have all your E3 coverage right here, what we saw, what we liked, what we're thinking of. Stay tuned to noobsandpros.com as well because I guarantee you we'll have pre-shows coming up, maybe do a couple live streams as well, so just keep your heads up and just stay alert. That's all I need you to do. But thank you to also our sponsors, Video Games Monthly. Thank you to our friends at PlayerOneCoffee.com. Just use code DADSThatGame for 5% off any first-time orders. But yeah, we're back at it again with a whole round of new news. So we'll go right into the news here because there's a lot to talk about this week.
There is.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about something that happened. I'm trying to remember when this happened. It was like early Monday, Tuesday, I believe. But Bethesda, being the sneaky Pete's that they are, they started. I did not realize that they were still into trolling, but apparently they still are. So they trolled over 2 million viewers. is what they did, because they kept on they basically what they did was they took the image from Fallout, that that please stand by image, put some new colors on it, and slapped it up on the Bethesda Twitch page. And then for the next 24 hours, they kept on teasing things. Like at one point in time, they had a guy in it was a Fallout mask. He put a Fallout boy to bed and set the clock, and then then left for the night. At other points in times, they had guys in Skyrim. Well, I would say Elder Scrolls masks come in and do some funny things, and all they did was troll. But it led up to the holy reveal, which I don't know how I feel about this game, because it's not what you think it is. So I guess be excited, but just be wary. But it was they finally announced this week that the next Fallout game is coming out. It's called Fallout 76. The only thing that I've heard, though, is that it's not. It is a Fallout game, but it's not like a traditional Fallout game, is what I'm hearing.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard it's more of a online survival like kind of game, like Rust or things like that. So,
sure.
I mean, that could be cool, but
could be.
It depends. I mean, Bethesda knows what they're doing.
Sure.
And I don't think that they would trash one of their most
beloved
franchises.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
I feel like whatever it is, it's going to be well implemented. But those games aren't for everybody. I just personally, it just pisses me off when you spend hours going from being a naked person to getting your crap together, and starting to actually have something, and then someone sneaks up behind you and kills you with a rock because you weren't watching.
Yeah, sure.
And then you're back to having nothing again.
That's the story of life, Will.
Yeah.
You get your crap.
Oh, right, yeah.
You start out naked and you get your crap together, and then somebody comes up behind you and steals it. It's the story of life. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
But I feel like the story of life shouldn't have to carry over to video games.
True.
Like, it's a video game.
Right.
You should be able to enjoy it and not always be worried that someone's going to take your stuff.
Kill you.
So,
I kind of have to laugh, because isn't the game of Fallout like, take Fallout 4 originally? Like, I mean, that's pretty verbatim, what they're kind of proposing here. I mean, it's like you go through town by town. I mean, there are missions and stuff like that, but I mean, are they strictly just saying, like, we're not going to have missions anymore? We're not going to have a story. It's strictly just going to be a survival game?
They're not saying anything yet.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we'll find out.
I guess whatever people have, like, data mined or whatever the information, the only thing that they've come up with so far is that basically it's going to be some kind of online survival game.
So I mean, straight up,
and
like,
it's not
straight up like
typical.
Rust or Conan or anything like that. Okay.
Well, I'm assuming you leave your vault and it will be like, you go out and you have to, survive. But I mean, that's kind of what the Fallout games have always been, except that this one means it just sounds to me like this one is finally one where they're like, okay, it's going to have it's multiplayer.
Well, and I just feel like basically they're just like, we'll give you the game, but we're just not going to give you, we're not going to give you a story. I mean, because the other ones have stories. I kind of feel like that's what they're saying.
And it might have like a basic storyline. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it also could be, again, we could have also been trolled, and it's not that at all.
Right.
I mean, we still don't, like, the reveal will be at the end of next week. So, what is it, Friday?
Next Friday, yeah.
Is that when their thing is on Friday?
I'll make sure we post a link on noobsandpros.com for the E3 schedule. It's been on our Instagram page and our Facebook page too. So make sure you're following us on that, because you'll be able to follow along with the schedule.
I am really thinking that this E3 is going to just blow people away. Like, last year was so lackluster that I think we're going to get, like,
we've talked about that before.
Repeatedly blown out of the water.
Well, we've talked about that before, because everybody's been disappointed by E3. I would say past 2-3 years. And I mean, everybody's been talking about that. Everybody in the industry that I know of has been talking about that. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I think they have to. Like, I think this is the year they have to come out, like, all guns firing. Because, I mean, for one, It's a big year, obviously, for E3 itself. 2, it's a big year for EA to see how they redeem themselves from the debacles they put themselves in last year. It's a big year for Microsoft because their system's dying. You know, it's just I mean I feel like it's gonna have to be. Like they're gonna have to come out and just blow everybody away, get everybody excited. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point? You know, what's the point of obviously having this conference if you're not gonna come out? And I mean I know, like, for gamers, like, this is our Super Bowl. Like, this is what we watch. Like, this is what we want to see for what's coming up in the future. I mean, this is the Super Bowl of gaming. I mean, it's literally, I mean, it is. It's the most tuned in thing by gamers ever. But I just think it's just got to have to be. It's like you've under-delivered for the past couple of years, and I think people are just finally fed up. But I think, I mean, I know E3 itself as a conference has nothing to do with what the game developers are doing. E3 is just basically the platform they use. But I just think for all the developers out there, like Sony, Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, I mean, they've made a lot of stupid decisions over the last, couple of years. I think this has got to be a redeeming year. So otherwise,
you know which companies have made right decisions over the last few years?
I can name a couple.
Nintendo,
yeah.
Bethesda,
yeah.
And even one company that I just can't praise enough is CD Projekt Red. Those guys, like,
they're amazing. Yeah.
I'm very excited for them to just please, hopefully, show something about
the new
whatever
Cyberpunk.
The Cyberpunk 2077, or if it's just Cyberpunk, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that, but I know that they're not going to show anything until they're closer to a launch.
Yeah. But it would be. I mean, even if it's some sort of trailer or something like that, I think I would still be excited. So, because I understand if you can't do a game development or something like that, but give us, just a taste. I don't know. I'm okay with that because I know CD Projekt. Yeah, CD Projekt Red has never steered anybody wrong. Like, they've always done their games right. I mean, for God's sakes, look at the Witcher series. But it's like I said, maybe just a little tease. I would like. I hate when they do that all the time, like coming sometime. But I think with them,
but we've seen very little so far.
Right? Yeah, like I said, I would be okay with a little tease from them. Like I don't expect them to be like coming, next year. But I would say just something. Yeah, I mean, because rumors are right now, obviously, that we'll get to see more Beyond Good and Evil 2, because that's been in the dark forever. Obviously, The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, there's so many games that obviously that I'm excited for. I'm excited to see what Nintendo is going to bring, because obviously I read you the list of supposedly what Nintendo is going to talk about. So if you haven't listened to it, go back to our previous show and you can find out all about it. But a lot of people are saying that a lot of the list that I read is actually going to be confirmed, because there's the people are saying that Fortnite actually would be coming over to Switch. So if that's true, then I'm super excited that I was right once.
Well, that one's almost a given at this point, because they've even found it on the rating boards.
Yeah.
It just popped up on the rating boards for Switch.
Right.
So that means that everything, like, it's so funny how so many things are just very hard kept secrets. Yeah. They're just very not, like, everything leaks nowadays, except for, again, some companies are really good, and I don't know if behind closed doors they threaten people with, like, losing fingers or hands, or if anybody finds out, because some companies catch you so by surprise,
I know,
where you didn't see it coming. And then other ones, literally every good game that they have is always leaked.
Yeah, but I've signed I've signed an NDC before, a non-disclosure consent form before. I've signed one. They're pretty Loctite. Are you at Indy 500? What the hell was that? Jesus.
It was a big truck just went by.
Dear Lord, it sounded like you're in the Speedway. All right. No, I've signed NDCs before because I've been a part of beta games. I've been part of alpha games that make you sign one, and you can't talk about them at all. They're pretty Loctite, like, honestly. So it's like, and they have ways to control to see who leaked that information, especially online when you're playing it online.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know with paper. I mean, paper is so easily transported. So it's hard to keep that under wraps. I mean, you really just have to, I guess, trust who you're giving the information to and watch out for everybody else, which sucks. But I mean, it just happens. But I mean, like I said, if the information that we received was correct about Nintendo, Nintendo's going to have a banner year. I mean, it's going to be insane for Nintendo, especially for Bethesda, too. Bethesda's going to kill it this year. I mean, even with the early announcements that they've had, they still have a lot more to announce.
So, just with Rust, so like, Rage, like with Rage already being announced, and then now with this 76. New Fallout game already being announced, and this is, I guarantee you, just the tip of their iceberg, because they still have the space game that they haven't
really announced yet,
like ever talked about, but it's like a code name that it's some kind of like space version of like Elder Scrolls or Fallout, where it's like a big space version of it.
Gotcha.
So people think that they might be, finally announcing that project. Sure. I mean, who knows? Bethesda always does big things.
Oh yeah, big time.
So
yeah. I mean, I've never like seen an E3 and be like, I've never said once about Bethesda, be like, wow, they really dropped a ball. Like, no, they always hit it out of the park. So
yeah, I mean, Prey wasn't great, but it wasn't their fault.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean,
Prey wasn't terrible by any means.
No,
it just wasn't. It didn't capture me the way I wanted it to. But still a good game for what it was.
I think the reason that I didn't like Prey as much is because I played the original, and I think my mindset.
Well, exactly.
It's hard.
You wanted that.
Yeah, it's hard for me to. I guess it may have done good, like well with newer generations that never played the original. I think the problem is that when you reboot an original and you make it something that it's totally not, like it's a brand new idea of it.
Completely different. Yeah.
That's hard for a lot of older generations that grew up with the original to kind of get their mind around. So it's Yeah, I mean, I think to me, like, because I was comparing it too much to the old one, I was like, well, the old one was better, but I just, it wasn't a bad game at all, by all means. I mean, it was a good game, but it was hard for me to understand, and it just kind of had pacing and story problems, so, yeah.
Yeah, it did have issues, but again, it wasn't a Bethesda thing. They picked that ball up after it had dropped many times.
I would, like, cancel
and put it back together.
Yeah, like 9 times, So... moving on though. Obviously, like we're just excited, obviously for E3, and we're excited to see what Bethesda's going to bring to the table. I was excited to see that they said Fallout 76, even though we don't know what the game's going to be about. It could be a battle royale game for all I know. I don't know, but I mean, it's exciting.
I really hope not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, it's exciting to see that they're doing something with the franchise instead of just letting it sit. Because I mean, Fallout 4 was a good. 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago,
right?
So I mean, it's time for another one. So I mean, hope people are saying they're not thinking there'll be a brand new Fallout game until Elder Scrolls come out. But I heard a rumor that they said that because Elder Scrolls has gone online the way that Warcraft did, they don't think there's ever going to be another Elder Scrolls game like Elder Scrolls game. They're doing different things with the Elder Scrolls franchise, but I don't know if there's ever going to be like another single player game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Yeah. So
I don't know about that. I feel like there will be because ZeniMax does Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like, I mean,
they can keep making more stories and keep making new things for the online.
They can, but I kind of feel like they may be doing the Blizzard model where it's like you don't ever see them making another Warcraft game. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it proved me wrong, obviously, but I feel like that may be that may be one of the games that once like it crosses the threshold of the MMO market, like there's really no reason to go back in and make like a single player game anymore. But obviously it's Bethesda, and Bethesda obviously has a different model than Blizzard. But I'm just saying, like, I kind of feel like it's that. It kind of feels like that is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
Because it's been quite a while.
It has
since
been
the last installment of where Skyrim was. So
let's not talk about Skyrim. God damn.
I've also heard that they're going to announce Fallout 3 remastered for everything, including the Switch.
Right. I heard that.
Which again, if they do that, I'll only get it and play it if inside it, like at one point you go inside it and you can play Skyrim inside it.
That was the joke. Yeah. So
yeah, there you go. It has to have a playable version of Skyrim inside
on your Pip-Boy.
The playable version of Fallout 3.
Yeah, on your Pip-Boy. Yeah, I've seen that meme before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Got it. But keeping on the rumor train, obviously. Well, not even rumor train, but reveal train. Nintendo announced 3 new Pokemon games these next 2 years, this year and next year. But there was the Pokemon Company announced, obviously, Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Let's Go Eevee, both which were slated for release on the Nintendo Switch this year. The new Pokemon RPGs, which are not the core Pokemon RPG, announced last year. And actually it's kind of interesting because it's like they're still working on a brand new Pokemon game. Like that's still in development.
Yeah.
That one has been confirmed.
Like that's the mainline Pokemon game has not been announced.
Right,
or
correct.
Like nothing about it has been really
nothing about it. Yeah. So they're saying that one's still slated for a 2019 release is the rumor so far. It'd probably be pushed back, but we'll see. But the Pokemon, I guess the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, it incorporates with the Pokemon Go app on your Android or iOS devices, which I think is interesting, but it turns that game into its own RPG game, which is interesting. So it's like you still have a lot of the elements of obviously Pokemon Let's Go, of the AR elements, but like when you're playing the video game, it's like an RPG, so it's like you're in the town, but you're still, you use your controller instead of your finger to throw Pokeballs and catch Pokemon, and you can still fight them and everything like that. So it's interesting how they're incorporating that. It's like Pokemon Go meets a video game. Well, Pokemon Go is a video game, but I mean meets console is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So, but the other interesting thing too is that they're making a Pokeball that connects to your Switch that you can actually use, as a controller. So kind of cool what they're doing. I mean, if you're still a fan of Pokemon Go, this game is going to be right up your alley. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of think like if this would have came out right when the Switch hit, I think it would have done a lot better, a year ago, because Pokemon Go was blowing up. But it's like, I think, I know people still play Pokemon Go, but it's not as popular as it once was. Like, it's not, you don't see people out there anymore, like, trying to catch Pokemon, unless you're down in South America, where, what was it? No, it was over in, what was it, France? Yeah, it was France, where the kid, they said they were playing Pokemon Go, and he went off the ledge, and that guy climbed up and saved him. Yeah, it still happens. So, I think it's the rest of the world, because I've never really heard of anybody dying here. Has there been anybody that's died in America by playing Pokemon Go?
I don't know. I hope not.
The only time I ever hear about car crashes or anything like that, it's always like Japan or somewhere else in the world. It's like, I've never heard of Americans actually getting hurt. So, I'm not saying we're the smartest, but I'm just saying, come on. So, I mean, we do have our president. So, all right, I'll sit down. Thank you. That just threw that idea out of the water. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna hate it. I'm not a hater on the game, but I just think I don't know how well it's gonna do, just because I know that Pokemon Go is not as popular as it once was. Maybe overseas markets it'll be huge, but I don't know about here in America. So, any thoughts on that? Anything? No.
No.
Yeah.
I was never a fan anyway, so I don't know.
Go. Yeah. It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I installed it and I looked at it for like a couple days.
Sure.
And I didn't even get some of the mechanics. I didn't even understand that when you got near like one of the landmarks, you would like spin it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever, to get it to give you stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Sure.
It just didn't understand.
I played.
And then, I'd see the kids running around, like, and kids, I mean, even people like in their 20s and or 30s even, like wandering around like the waterfront in Plymouth, all with their phones out in big droves, playing it. Like,
well, I remember
it was crazy.
Well, I remember like downtown here, like, because they had a park that was a Pokestop, and like I said, there was churches that were Pokestops that were actually pretty cool about it. But the I mean, it just I don't know. You just don't see it anymore. I mean, like a year ago when it first came out, like everybody was playing it, everybody loved it. It's just
it died pretty quick
yeah,
here, but
it just died
in
pretty quick.
other places around the world, it's still massively
I'm
popular.
Sure. Yeah, it's still really popular.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, people are dying to play it. Literally. All right. This is the part where you tell me I'm not funny. All right, moving on. But another obviously reveal this week, which I thought was interesting and how they keep on pushing the train for this. But Assassin's Creed back in the news. Assassin's Creed dropped a new trailer. They're going to, I guess, Greek times. Yeah, like Greece. Yeah,
ancient Greece.
Ancient Greece is what they're doing. So obviously a new report on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's called the Assassin's Creed Odyssey is the game for anybody that was wondering, but it suggests that the upcoming stab-happy sandbox title, which will include more role-playing elements than ever. Multiple sources speaking to Kotaku claim that the Odyssey will introduce dialogue options, so it's really becoming more of an RPG. Which will be the first of an Assassin's Creed game. That is very true. They've not done that before. It says not only that, but you can also have the choice of a male or female protagonist. Assassin's Creed Origins, Bayek and Aya did not appear through, though you probably wouldn't expect them to. The game is set in Greece, presumably many years after Origins. In addition, the sources said that the Odyssey will be out in Ubisoft's 2019 fiscal year, which means it'll be out by March 31st, 2019. Wow. That's a quick turnaround from the last one. Because when did
it bothers me that they do these things that quick.
When did Origins come out? Like a year ago? Well, that's been the MO of Assassin's Creed though. Is it's been like every year or every year and a half there's a new game. So I mean, I just it
just leads to staleness.
Well,
and,
yes,
like so much redundancies between the games.
Yes,
and I
yes
don't
and
know.
no. Yes and no, because I will disagree with you because Assassin's Creed Origins, the brand new one they did obviously it was the Pharaohs and things like that, and it was in Egypt. That game was amazing. Like they did a really good job.
That one was, but remember that they took 2 years off.
I think because I think everybody was getting ticked off. Yeah, because everybody was getting ticked off that obviously there was a new game every 6 months to a year. So I mean, are they starting back up the train again? Then I mean, because honestly, this is not until 2019. So realistically, there's like a 2-year break. I'm okay with a 2-year break. I wasn't okay with the year break because it was like it seemed like every single year there was a brand new Assassin's Creed game, and that was just getting really old. And a lot of the times, too, is because they kept on using the same formula over and over and over again. People were getting ticked off. They're like, you guys are just idiots, and we're not going to buy your game anymore. Then they came out with Origins, which is a brand new story, brand new combat system. And it seems like they're pushing that forward into Greece, but I feel like they're like, oh, well, now this formula works, so we'll just do this. So...
Well, that's what I was saying. Now they're going to go, okay, well, this is everybody really loved this new formula.
Right.
So this is now going to be our new version.
This is our new standard.
Going forward.
Yeah, this is our new standard. So now we can just push games out every year again until people start, complaining, and then we have to be imaginative again.
Yeah.
Maybe. Right, I don't know.
And we have to think of something new again. But,
it seems like something that they would do, I'll be honest with you. So... Yep. We'll see. I don't know how they have planned with that. We'll see. I mean, I give every game a chance. I do until you give me, a reason not to. So, but let's talk about a game that gave me every reason not to, but it keeps on chugging along. But Destiny 2, obviously back in the news this week because Bungie announced that they're going to give players a first look at its plans for year 2. Of the interplanetary loot shooter Destiny 2 during a live stream next week. The event will kick off at 5 p.m. On June 5th. Check your local listings because I'm not sure what time that is. With Bungie confirming appearances from various members of the development team, including Steve Cotton, the game director, Scott Taylor, the project lead. The former Halo developer isn't saying anything more right now, although we do know that Destiny 2 is getting a third expansion later this year, so presumably we'll hear some details about that during the stream. The summer roadmap obviously confirmed that year 2 will kick off in September, and aside from the new expansion includes gear collections and unspecified new gameplay modes. So that's what they're talking about. At this point in time, I really don't care.
I just don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, every
No.
time I try to get back into Destiny, it's the same bullcrap. It's just basically It's basically shuffled a different way. It's the same deck of cards. They just shuffle it, three or four times different ways, and just jam it down your throat.
Yep.
They can say that they don't. They're like, oh no, but we have these new modes and stuff like that. No, you don't. You just have your core game, and it's crap. I'm sorry. There's no change from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. Everybody loved Destiny 2, obviously going in because we got a story, but everything else was lacking. I've complained about this game almost every single flippin' episode.
We've had so much to say for so
we've had.
long.
Yeah.
It just, I think that it still goes to show how much we really want to like it.
I want to like it. Yeah. But it just
There's
every time
so many things.
I feel like I don't condone abusive relationships, but I honestly feel like I'm in an abusive relationship with Destiny. I really do. Like it tells
I
me
agree.
like I fell in love with the game. It hurt me.
Yep.
And then it tells me like, no, baby, I can change, and I'll change for you. And I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm stupid enough to keep believing and keep going back into it. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Is that I'm the one that's stupid right now because I keep on thinking that every time you change a little, like I'm going to be really into you, and it's like, but you're still a big pile of crap. So
Yeah. No.
yeah.
It's just crazy.
I know.
I don't want to. I want to love it. Like it's all the things that I like.
Yeah.
It's like a loot-based game.
Yeah.
It's sci-fi.
Yep.
Not swords and boards. I mean, I like swords and boards, but I'm always, I always get to that point where I'm like, can there just be more futuristic versions of the swords and boards game?
Sure.
And that's what this is.
Yeah.
And it ticks off so many of the boxes perfectly that the things that it does wrong are glaring.
Yeah.
When you have a game that they know what they're doing, these people know how to craft a good experience.
Yep.
But
They don't.
the way that they made it, the problem is that the way that they made it, that experience can't last.
Well,
and they want you to think that it will.
The thing that I'm getting tired of too is I'm getting tired of what they'll tell you something that they're gonna do, and then they don't do it. Because I had to go back and watch a video on what promises were actually made that they made and they just never delivered on. Because I was like, oh my God, they did. I was like, they made these promises and they never did. The big thing that they said about Destiny 2 that they were going to do is that they said that every gun you pick up would have a different perk that would make you want them all. They never did that.
Yeah.
Like it's just the same crap. Like it's just honestly like they were like, yeah, if you pick like we'll say like just throw out a gun like Ace of Spades. They said if one Ace of Spades will be different from every other Ace of Spades that you pick up. Like it was going to be like a random generator for specs and stuff like that. Never happened.
Right.
Never happened. It's the same crap. It's the same look of the gun. It's just unreal. And I mean, they did the same thing in Destiny 1. It's like Destiny 1, I realized that they ran into developer problems because they still had the old generation systems to worry about as well. But it was all like, they're like, oh, well, like it's going to be open world. You can go from here to here to here. They made the same promise about Destiny 2. It's like, oh, well, there's going to be people out, in the world that you can just go grab quests from. No, it was basically there was one platform place you can go to, get your quests, and you go out to the world. And the world is small. It's not like I could go, running from one place to the other. I had to still fly in my ship, obviously,
Right.
But it's like they made it super small in a lot of places. So I just feel like it's like, I know people still play it, but I feel like we're all in this relationship together to where it's like we keep on thinking like, oh, well, they said they changed it. I'm gonna give it a chance. And then it's like a week later, we're like, no, it's still a piece of crap. And then we get out of it, but we're, we're $40 broke because of it. So, it's like we took them to dinner, realized that they're still a ball of crap, and it's like, why did I just waste my money on that dinner? He made me pay, So, I mean, that's kind of how I feel.
Mm.
I mean, I feel like Destiny is an abusive spouse. So that's how I feel. So, but speaking of Bungie, love you, Bungie. They've actually been quietly working on a new non-Destiny game for some time now, which I had no idea about until this week. But the studio actually acknowledged for the first time, announcing a partnership with a Chinese publisher, NetEase, that they will raise $100 million, and they stated, quote, "Today we're excited to announce that we entered into a new partnership with NetEase to help us explore new directions." The company said on its website, with their industry expertise, they'll empower us to build new worlds and invite players and new and old to join us there. They'll help us support separate teams inside Bungie to bring our newest ambitions to life. So I'm actually pretty excited to hear that Bungie, as a developer, is working on new things, because honestly, they have a couple games under their belt, but I think like Bungie is one of those companies that could really do well if they're just given a chance and not like locked into this whole Activision hell that they're in with Destiny. Because I mean, Halo was amazing, obviously, but I mean, you had Halo was 343. No, 343 took over for them, but then like, who was the original developer of Halo? Like the publisher, was it Microsoft? I think
Microsoft, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So obviously Bungie, well, I mean, Halo was under Microsoft. Destiny's under Activision, which I know that's the reason why they're not able to do the Destiny game they want to do, is because of Activision. Activision's just that's for another show. I could go on for hours about that company.
Yeah.
They're just as bad as EA is sometimes. But I mean, it's like, obviously, I hope that they're able to, with this new company, maybe have some creative freedom and not be so controlled by these other companies. Because Bungie, as a developer, they make some good video games. Like, they have great ideas. They have great developers. I don't hate the people. I just hate basically the control sometimes of these other companies. So hopefully with NetEase, I mean, maybe they'll give them some freedom to get out there and do what they want to do and make a video game that they want to make. So I wish them the best, though. So,
yeah.
But that was it for all the stories we had today. The last story I wanted to talk about today is, I think retro has gone way too far.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because Intellivision, and for those kids out there that are listening that don't know what Intellivision is, go, those old things that are called books that your grandparents probably have? If you look it up, you can probably find an Intellivision, because that's how old this dang thing is. It was originally released back in 1979. I'm trying to think what games came out of this. I mean, Burger Time, Pitfall,
Yeah.
Dig Dug. So, yeah. I mean, obviously, if those games don't ring a bell, there's a reason for that. It's because they're almost pushing 40 years old. I don't know how I feel about that, because Intellivision, actually, they said they're going to be making a new video game console. Like a new video game console. For one, I did not realize that Intellivision was still around. And two, really? I mean, is there really a demand for a new Intellivision console? I mean, we talked about earlier. We talked about it on prior shows that Atari's getting back in with it, with Atari CVS, which I'm not going to waste my money on until obviously I know what kind of, what we're talking about gaming wise, with that system. But now Intellivision is jumping right back in. There's even rumors that Sega may be jumping back into the console market, which I think would be amazing. But these are all rumors right now. But the Intellivision story actually is true. Intellivision is planning on making a new video game console.
Yeah. I feel like that the console market is already
saturated.
It's already very busy.
Yeah, saturated.
There's already enough going on.
Yeah.
That if you haven't been around this whole time,
sure,
then I just don't see how you can jump right in and be like, oh, we'll make money.
Right.
You're going to fail.
Maybe
Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. These companies have been around long enough where, they know what they're doing.
Well, yes.
And they have enough of a following.
Yes and no. I mean, because realistically, like, if Intellivision never went away, obviously they'd be around longer. But the problem is that I've always preached on this show is relevance. Because people have memories as a goldfish. Like, we don't remember stuff a year ago, nor 40 years ago.
Right.
So it's like, how do you remain relevant in today's society? Because if you're not relevant, pushing out stuff, like you said, like Sony does or Microsoft does or Nintendo, if you're not in the now, why do you expect people to be like, oh yeah, I remember that company 40 years ago? Like, I'm going to trust that they're going to make a great game.
Think about this, like, little kid, Christmas time, he's thinking that box right there is a PS4,
right.
And he's so excited. He's going to hold that thing above his head and cheer and be super excited.
Yeah.
And he opens it and it says Intellivision. He's going to think he got robbed. You know what I mean? He's going to think, why did my parents buy me some knockoff, crap and not the real thing?
Mom!
I mean, that's what a little kid's going to think.
Right. What the hell is
what
this?
What did you do? Why?
Yeah. What the hell is this?
Like, throws it across the room. Like, I don't know why that. Like, so that's how I picture it in my head. Like,
right.
Like super upset
because
he's not, like, the kid didn't get the actual console he wanted.
What his friends has. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of what was it? Yeah, it was South Park where Cartman wanted the iPad and his mom couldn't afford one, and it was all like, well, let's just get this one. And he's all like, what? And he just just throws a big fit. But it's like, yeah, I mean, that's how I feel. Like, yeah, you're exactly right. Like, kid's gonna open this up on his birthday or Christmas or something like that and being like, wow, you guys are cheap. Yeah. So
what the hell? Why did you get me this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I understand obviously nostalgia and people enjoying nostalgia. I mean, it's great. I mean, obviously there's hipsters for a reason. They keep things alive, but I don't know if this will work. I really don't. I mean, please pleasantly surprise me. But I just, I said,
they must have seen like the marketing for the Atari.
Sure.
And we're like, well, if they're doing
we can do it.
We can do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I mean, I know that like Sega's getting back into it. Like Sega's going to release their own version of their, mini console. Like, the little mini consoles. Like we've talked about that before too.
Right.
But I mean, that's fine. But I mean, I just get it back to jump right back into, like, I understand, like, at the time you guys were relevant, like the sea was wide open. Like you could sail wherever you wanted to. But now it's just like there are 3 major ships in that sea right now that take up all of it. And that's Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. And you want to jump right back into that same sea that you were with, back in the day with Atari and, Nintendo starting out. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sorry. I mean, I wish you the best, but I don't know what your marketing campaign to get people excited for, unless they already have like a ton of developers that are like, yeah, we're going to back you. And these are going to be in television, exclusive games. Good luck. That's all I got to say. Good luck. So that's all the time we had though. We got to get out of here. I got to go, see Elijah Wood about something. So I'm going to, I'm gonna go
about a ring.
I gotta go see him about a ring and see where he put that thing. But thank you everybody who listens. We love you. Make sure you check us out, Podcast Radio Network. We are back on Thursday nights. I'm excited about that. Thursday night, 7:00 Eastern. Please check out our website, www.noobsandpros.com. I'm sorry. noobsandpros.com. Click on the link that says the podcast and you'll be able to find everything. I just updated that yesterday, so if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. But we love you. We will see you next week, hopefully, if Elijah Woods doesn't kill me. So we'll talk to you later and have a good one. Bye now.
Thank you for listening to the Dads That Game radio podcast. Email us your questions
and hate mail
to dadsthatgamepodcast@gmail.com.